Welcome to this other side of Prime Edition. Tonight, we're hosting the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage, PS Ummi Bashir, who joins us tonight. There's much to speak about, but probably even as President William Ruto and his government marks 2 years in power, we'll also be looking at the scorecard of the State Department. Thank you very much, PS, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Kioria, for having me in the studio tonight.
Absolutely. You're very much welcome. Let's begin with this scorecard, because it's much of what you've been doing, but tell us within 2 years what the State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage has been able to achieve.
So the State Department of Culture, the Arts and Heritage has done so much in 2 years. We have managed to, first of all, increase the number of Ushanga counties. Initially, we had 7 Ushanga counties, and we added 3 more, like Kipia County, Garissa County, and Elgeyo Marakwet County. This basically means that the women empowerment agenda that we have as a State Department is increasing as we move to more counties. What happens now is, as a State Department, we want the women at the bottom of the pyramid to put money in their pockets for livelihood, for school, for fees, for rent, for basically their livelihood and to improve their lives. That is one of the things. Another thing that we have managed to do as a State Department is also repatriate artifacts. We have managed to repatriate 85 Vigangos from Illinois Museum in Chicago. And this is thanks to our cultural diplomacy and through MFA, where we partnered and we made sure that we brought home 85 Vigangos back to the people of Kilifi County, specifically Kaya Kauma. This is where we had the ceremony and the 85 Vigangos came back, but we have a potential of bringing more artifacts home, more of our stolen artifacts. We have this across the globe, be it the Germans, be it the Americans, be it Japan, wherever. Our intention is to bring back what belongs to us as Kenya. And we're doing this through diplomacy, and of course we can't do it alone, we do it through MFA. Another thing that is of course wise to note would be the fact that we have increased the number of collections as per the royalties. We have what we call KECOBO, Kenya Copyright Board, where our work is to regulate and encourage the CMOs to collect more royalties and at the same time put money in the pockets of the artists, because for us of importance are the artists, the creatives as a State Department, and how can we then make sure that our artists benefit and the money does not just end up staying with the CMOs. Does it trickle down to an artist like Anguka Nai and all these nice songs that our creatives are coming up with? So for us as a State Department, we have also managed to partner and host many cultural festivals. Like we have the Ma Cultural Festival, which we did, whereby we had Narok County, Kajiado County, and Samburu County come together, and we partner with them as the national government. This is so that we can encourage our youths and our people to be proud of being Kenyans and celebrating each other's identities. Like on the 6th of November to the 10th of November, we have the Ma again coming up this year. This time it's going to be in Samburu County, and I would like to welcome you, to come and enjoy yourself with the Ma people of this country. We have the Turkana Cultural Festival coming up. That is on the 25th of this month, October. Is going to be in Turkana, of course, Kenya being the home of human origins. That is a place that we are very proud of to be associated with. The oldest fossil was found there, and the fossil that was almost fully formed, and that is why we keep saying Kenya is the home of human origins, is the home of humanity. That is why we're telling everybody to welcome back home.
Tobong Lore.
Yeah, Tobong Lore. Yeah. So, aside from that, we have what we call the National Heroes Council, where we basically host the Mashujaa Day. Mashujaa Day is a day that we celebrate our heroes, and this year we're going to celebrate it in Kwale County, whereby we're going to honor 147 heroes and heroines, sports heroes, philanthropists, even posthumously we're going to honor our heroes and Mashujaa who are not even with us. As a country, we cannot afford to ignore our heroes, be it sports heroes. Like the other day we were in the Olympics and we had what we call the Kenya House, where we want to increase the number of tourists in our country. So how do we do that? What we do is we exhibit. We have different exhibitions. In Paris, we had one in Berlin during the Burger Fest, that is a month ago in Berlin, where we showcase our utamaduni, our Sanaa artifacts, our Turkana boy. We carry him wherever we go so that the world can see our assets. You know, when you have a good thing going, Kioria, you have to share it with the world. You cannot afford to hide it in your country. So what we're doing is showcasing our artifacts. We've partnered with different state departments like diaspora, investment, where we showcased our different teas, our different horticulture, so that investors can see that Kenya is just not a home of human origins, but is a place where you can put your money and put your investment, and it's a place to call home. So for us as a State Department, we have the National Museums of Kenya. We actually got to inscribe Gede ruins as one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We initially had 7, but now that we have Gede ruins as the 8th, it puts us actually number 5 in the whole of Africa. We have countries like South Africa, which are taking the lead in terms of the number of inscribed heritage sites, but Gede ruins is now on the map, and this was done in July in India, where we are recognized as a country that has so much potential in terms of heritage. And heritage is something that we're proud of. Look at Fort Jesus, when you look at Vasco da Gama, we have the climate change that is really affecting our sites. Our sites are becoming dilapidated, but because we're having more and more sites being inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage list, this means that we're going to get more partnership, funding and support from the international community, especially UNESCO. Kenya also celebrated the World Kiswahili Day, and we hosted it for once as a country. Kiswahili Day is celebrated on the 7th of July every year. It just came about 3 years ago. The first time that it was celebrated was in Zanzibar, and that was the year 2022 actually. Then 2023 we had it in Uganda, and now Kenya, we celebrated it for the first time in Mombasa. It's a big deal for us because Kiswahili is a language that we speak, and sadly in most of our household, we tend to speak more of English than Kiswahili, and I would like to encourage parents to talk to their children in Kiswahili so that wherever they are, they can always recognize each other. And you know, you see someone speaking in Kiswahili and you realize, oh, you're from East Africa, where in particular Kenya. There's also the band, the Kenyan band that was going global during the Olympics. This is done by our women in the Ushanga counties. This is beadwork, and we're very proud of it as a country. We saw in the Olympics different marathoners and different people wearing it, not because they're Kenyan, not because they've been to Kenya, because of the story that we carry with us as citizens and the pride that we have as Kenyans, whereby we encourage people to want to visit the Masai Mara, to want to visit our white sandy beaches, and also celebrate our cultural practices and dances across the country.
All right. You've spoken about, royalties through Kekobo, and we're talking about artists, and in the whole docket around culture, arts, and heritage. One of the key achievements for the department has been the Sanaa e-commerce market hub platform. Tell us about it.
So the Sanaa e-commerce market hub, it is a marketplace whereby our artists, our artisans can sell their products globally on a platform. You know, the problem that was there initially when we went around the country is we realized that our artisans had the products, but they could not sell because of lack of market. A person in America can right now purchase a product in Turkana or Samburu through the click of a button. And this Sanaa e-commerce platform is a platform that is multilingual, that is multi-currency, and it is an opportunity for that woman or that man at the bottom of the pyramid to put money in his pocket, because we are eradicating the middlemen. The problem around this, and some of the people who are against it, is because of that benefit they're getting as middlemen, and where the woman who does the Lamu Kofias tends to get a very small percentage of profit from doing this work with her own hands, while the middleman benefits. So the Sanaa e-commerce platform is a platform that will be interlinked with Amazon, that will be interlinked with eBay, with Alibaba. It is an e-commerce platform where even e-citizen will be integrated. And it is a system that is a win for us as a country, because our biggest problem was always market. You would do so many products, Kisi soapstone, the Kamba carvings, the Lamu Kofias, the Ushanga, but now how do you then sell your products? Because at the end of the day, you need the money. That is what we need. And as Kenya Kwanza government, our main pillar is pesa mfukoni, to ensure that Mama Mboga has money in her pocket. And how do we do this? For her to sell her products. We are in a digital period where everything is just sold on the click of a button. If today I want to purchase something, I just go on my phone or on my iPad and I buy it. So that is what we're trying to do using this Sanaa e-commerce platform. And for your information, it will be the first in Africa. So it is a big deal for us, because getting a product moved from Mombasa, that last mile connectivity, all the way to Tanzania, all the way to America, is something that will be the first in Africa to do as a country. So Kenyans should be very proud of it. And patriotism is another thing that we would like to encourage as a State Department. We find that there are schools that don't even sing the national anthem. And during our time, we used to sing the loyalty pledge, the national anthem, so that you inculcate a sense of patriotism in the children. And the times that are changing, we need to encourage our teachers through education to make sure that our children are patriotic. Be proud of being Kenyan. Be proud of speaking Swahili. Be proud of a platform called Sanaa, whereby you can order something online. This is, as I said, a multi-currency where you can use euros, you can use pounds, you can use dollars to purchase. So for us, it's a win as the Kenya Kwanza government, because our biggest issue was that gap of market. Wherever we went around the country, we've gone around the 47 counties, talking to the artisans, trying to understand where's the problem, why aren't you selling? And the biggest problem was, how do we get these products to our buyers, to the end users? And we found a solution for it, which we're very proud of as a State Department, as a government.
All right. The last time you were here, and I'm sure you were sitting in this position and was seated where you were, you have only interchanged positions, and your remark was, help me to make culture cool again. 2 years on. Of course, the last time we did the interview is not 2 years on, but I'm just wondering, 2 years in that position as the PS, have you managed, or what progress are you making in making culture cool again?
So culture is not boring. We have this notion in our country that museums and culture are for the old and it's boring and we don't want to be involved with it. But what we've tried to do is incorporate creatives. We've tried to incorporate the content creators through social media, through also making culture cool by having spaces in our museums that our children visit and take selfies. They can skateboard, and actually use the free Wi-Fi. So when they come to the museum, it's not about looking at old artifacts and old skulls and boring old stories. So another thing that we've done is come up with Mashujaa stories. Instead of having Spider-Man and this superheroes, Batman, we have our very own superheroes. So we're making culture cool again by inculcating Mekatilili Wamenza as a superhero to our young generations, whereby they will see, listen, we are part and parcel of the Kenyan story. You see, what we're trying to change is the narrative of other people writing for us our stories. You see, Kioria, when I tell you that such and such a country is cool, and it's cool to visit Paris, and it's cool to visit Australia, but then when you come to Kenya, you're like, it's boring, same old, same old. So what we're doing is changing that narrative narrative through music, through the authenticity of a Kenyan dress, through the authenticity of through fashion, cultural change through fashion, where our creatives will be inculcated in this story that we're writing as Kenyans. So for us, it's through the museums, by telling everybody, welcome back home. When you go to Turkana, we're coming up with a science park, a mega museum, a research center called the Home of Human Origins Museum and Science Park, where we'll be partnering with development partners to come up with a state-of-the-art museum in Turkana. So when we talk about the Turkana story, you land in Nairobi, but you go straight to Turkana, you experience the cuisine, you experience the different cultures, the dances, and so on. So for us, we are in a period whereby we have music that is timeless. We have tribes, but we are tribeless as Kenyans. And what we're trying to drive is the narrative of making culture cool again by ensuring that I don't care what tribe you are. I don't care what music you listen to. I like the beat, so I'll dance to it. I like your attire. I like your beads. I like your cuisine. I like the samaki. I like the ugali. I'll indulge in it. So we're using the creatives, the content creators, to make it cool again.
You've referenced the national dress. Let's talk about it. What is this national dress?
Okay, so a few years ago, the year 2004, there was an idea of a dress, a Kenyan dress. A Kenyan dress was basically to create an identity and a pride in our people so that we can emulate the likes of Ghana, Nigeria, and other countries like Ethiopia, where if I wear an Ethiopian dress, you'll realize, oh, wait, you're from Ethiopia. We sat and decided, okay, we need to have an identity of sorts that is cool for our people. Not one dress, but a dress that can envisage the whole community, the 46 tribes that we have in the country. So back in 2004, we had Unilever. The regime then got assistance through Unilever, whereby they tried to come up with a dress, a Kenyan dress, but it was, I can't speak on the behalf, but it ended, it wasn't like picked very well by Kenyans. So what we're trying to do is change that narrative of having to decide for Kenyans what is a cool Kenyan dress. A Kenyan dress is an identity for our people, for our generations to wear. You can wear it during national holidays. You can wear it in other countries as cultural diplomacy forums or conferences, where if I wear this dress, I'll be noticed and I'll be known as this is a Kenyan lady or this is a Kenyan guy. And when we say a dress, it's not one dress. It is an idea that we have whereby there are different, like 4 or 5 different dresses, but then we don't sit in a boardroom and decide for Kenyans the kind of dress that they will wear. It is a conversation that we're trying to create, getting the ideas of the creatives, the designers. It's a competition whereby we're going to have a showcasing of different designers coming up with their magnificent ideas, and to create that authenticity in a Kenyan dress whereby if I wear, I'll be seen as an outstanding Kenyan. Now, our tailors in this country, the textile industry is an industry that we really need to support. We cannot be talking about done by Kenya for Kenyan if we ourselves are not spearheading the aspect of encouraging our tailors and our textile industry and using our own fabric. So what we've decided to do is not decide for Kenyans what dress to wear. We're having a conversation whereby the whole country will be involved, every county, every region, whereby if I stand before you today, I will not be the one deciding, Kioria, you're going to wear a buibui or a kanzu. I want to inculcate a kanzu into a Maasai shuka. I want to inculcate that into a Turkana bead. I want to inculcate that into a Lamu kofia. I want to go all the way to the lake, to the western side, have a dress that if I wear, I'll be proud of the fact that I'm Kenyan. Now, there was a conversation that there was a sort of funds that were embezzled, and
50 million?
Actually, it was 100
million.
That was the misleading news, that misinformation that was given to Kenyans, and it's really sad because it is not true. We don't even have the budget for it. What we're at the stage where we're asking for funds. Exchequer has not given us any cent for a Kenyan dress. So it is an idea that we have of having a Kenyan dress. The budget is a proposal that we have. So let alone being embezzled, we don't even have the funds to start with. Yes. So of course there are suggestions and proposals that we've sent out to different funds to see how we can be supported as a State Department of Culture, Arts and Heritage. Because look, culture is as important and as serious as any infrastructural development projects that we have in the country. Water, health, roads, you name it. Culture can rake in more money economically in this country than any other department. But what we put in is what we'll get out. So money in, money out. So what we're trying to do is see how, what do Kenyans want? Do they really need a dress at this juncture? Is it a priority? We are at that juncture right now where we're trying to get public participation. What is it that Northeastern wants? What is it that Central wants? What is it that Northern Kenya wants? What is it that the Western side want? Is it a priority? Because there are people who are saying, especially the youth, the younger generation, we are tailors, we are designers, and we want to come up with a Kenyan dress. But another segment says, we are not ready for that. Look at the Olympics, for instance. We had amazing attire, we had amazing dresses for the Olympics. And Kenyans were saying, oh, this is ugly, this is beautiful. That is the conversation we want, because we want to be the top of our game when it comes to creativity. There
must be lessons learned, because there's been an attempt before by your predecessors to come up with this conversation of a national dress. Even as you ask the Exchequer to allocate 100 million towards this exercise, what lessons have you learned as a State Department as regarding what made this other conversation fail, now that you have to rejuvenate it all over again?
First of all, it is not going to be 100 million. So the 100 million that has been drilled into Kenyans should stop, because it is not 100 million. There's no dress that's going to cost 100 million. We have other priorities than use 100 million for a Kenyan dress. What we have learned is that we sensitize and we listen to what Kenyans want. We will not shove a Kenyan dress down Kenyans' throats. We want public participation. We want to do it differently this time, because last time it was a boardroom conversation where we decide, oh, this is the dress and this is the way we're going to go. We are going to be competitive this time, whereby you as a designer will put it in the papers, come up, show us what you got, different designs, and then we let Kenyans vote for the best, okay? And then that will be different, because back then it was more of, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going, and it didn't work. So now we want it to be different. But first things first, we need a budget. So first of all, we need a budget. Yes, we have the brilliant ideas, but now what we're going to do different is involve our people, our Kenyan people, because they're the end users.
So the problem was this conversation was happening in a boardroom?
Yes, basically what happened, I can't speak on their behalf, but what happened, it died on arrival because we did not involve Kenyans. It was more of, we have decided and this is the Kenyan dress and wow, we've launched it. But now it's different. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be a story that we need to tell as Kenyans. I'm not going to sit in a boardroom and decide for Kenyans, this is your Kenyan dress. Do you need it? Do you want it? Is it an important thing right now? When we see Ghanaians and Nigerians wear the dresses, we're jealous and we say, oh, how comes we don't have it? But once we start the idea and involving the youth, the designers, the tailors, and the creatives in this conversation, it is an employment opportunity for Kenyans, which is actually an important aspect for us as government, to create employment and put money in the pockets of the artists of this country.
Culture, the arts and heritage, just like old days and even now in modern times, remains a frontier in terms of economic empowerment. The people engaging in these three fields most of the times look at government and they want to blame government for what is not being done. Question is, as the PS in charge, how much support are you getting from stakeholders? Other than just demanding that government must do this and this for us, how much support do you get from stakeholders who really want to be part and parcel of the programs you have?
Well, we have friends who assist us in terms of the museums, for instance. We have development partners, Italians, the British, the Americans, the Smithsonian museums that actually support our museums. And when it comes to culture itself, we have UNESCO. UNESCO is a very strong supporter of ours and ensuring that our culture does not die with this generation. We also have partnerships with different diplomatic corps like embassies, and Germans, of course, are very good friends of ours who are taking the front line in terms of repatriation of artifacts. We have artists and film industry where we have the Americans too, again, come in and support us on the same. But mostly what we have as a State Department's development partners, it's Matters Museums. When it comes to Matters Culture, we have UNESCO, which is based in Paris. It is an opportunity for us to, to show that as a country, we don't only have to depend on the exchequer. We be creative by bringing friends of Kenya, friends of the museum, friends of culture all across the globe. So we do have partners, but not as many as we would want. What we are doing now is embarking on our friendly cultural diplomacy relationship with other countries so that our story does not end with just saying we have no funds, we don't have this many, but bring friends on board, especially Matters Climate Change. When you look at the coast, you'll find that our heritage sites are really dilapidated because of the climate change. So that conversation comes in where we're partnering with different state departments. We have the State Department of Environment and Climate Change. Today being a very important day for us is a day that we tend to partner with different state departments. We cannot win this war alone as a State Department of Culture and Arts and Heritage. We partner with different, for instance, investment. We have the merchandise, the Duka merchandise, where we sell different products, the Ushanga products, for instance. So we have a lot of friends who support us, and aside from that, of course, a chunk of it has to come from the exchequer because culture is as important as any other state department in the government.
Right. Mashujaa Day is coming up in a few days. And I know the theme of the Mashujaa Day is affordable housing, but it is in Kwale County, the coast of Kenya, where you would say is one of the areas where culture and heritage really are rich on those other sides. What is the contribution of your State Department, or rather, what will you be doing around running up to Mashujaa Day or even after to promote culture and heritage on those sides of Kenya, particularly the coastal side of Kenya?
Yeah, so a lot of our history, a lot of our Kenyan story emanates from the coastal part of this country. Mashujaa is a day that is very important to us because it's a day that we celebrate our heroes and heroines. We are partnering with the State Department of Housing, and the PS there is a very good friend of mine, and his idea is we move away from the normal Swahili houses that we have to a more modern sort of house that is still affordable to a Kenyan at the bottom of the pyramid. So for us, it is the fact that we're moving around the country with different themes and different counties shows us that at the end of the day, our heritage and culture does not just stop with one particular country, with one particular county. Next time is going to be in Northeastern, and with that, the cultures are different. So the people who are there, the villages, the county itself, are people that we're having a conversation by involving them in terms of music. So what happens is during Mashujaa Day, we have the artists of that particular county, like for instance, the Kwale County, the music that they have, the Digos that live there, the different cuisines, the different attires, the different music is what we bring and make cool again as culture. So next time when we go to, let's say for instance, Mandera, we will now emulate what the people of Mandera do. So for us as a government, the fact that we're moving from one county to another in different holidays, different national days, it is an opportunity for us to develop those particular counties, to develop in the sense of, like this one for low-cost housing. How is it that it is practical to us as the people of Kwale to have an affordable housing program? Is it viable? Is it feasible? And for us as the State Department that houses heroes and Mashujaa, It is a day that we will take our Mashujaas all the way across the country to that particular county so that they see and experience, oh, there's a county called Kwale. What is the story of Kwale? How do we then inculcate the pride of Kwale into a story of Mashujaa and low-cost housing?
All right. As we wind up, PS, on the camera, I want you to give your Mashujaa Day message to Kenyans. Of course, as you wish them a happy Mashujaa Day. On the camera.
Let's make culture cool again by celebrating our heroes. Mashujaa ni mimi, Mashujaa ni wewe. Happy Mashujaa Day. Thank you very much. PS Ummi Bashir, the PS Culture, the Arts and Heritage, talking to us regarding the scorecard of the State Department, but most importantly, conversations that have been going around the country regarding the national dress. Of course, you've heard it's not 100 million from the PS, but then again, the national dress conversation is a conversation we ought to have as part of our culture, as a Kenyan people, and of course, as part of our heritage. Thank you very much, PS, for joining us tonight. Always appreciated. And that's how we put a cap on Prime Edition tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a fantastic night.